thank you for being here. We are scheduled to do PTSD and depression this evening. This is part of our program about helping you set up a bioacoustic center in your own community. And so for that, we are going to give away PTSD or depression. You get to choose which one you want, so that you can have it for your own center. Does this help differentiate between depression associated with addiction and withdrawal? No, but we do have a program of recreational drugs that helps do that. Okay. Have a couple of other announcements. We had a 2-day course, which we've combined into a recording, and it was 2 weeks ago Saturday. And there's software that goes with it. It's about your need to know, or your right to know, the truth. So you can go to our soundhealthoptions.com and download that and watch it online. We want to help you do all of that. I wanted to tell a story too for you, because part of it is about depression and PTSD and what's going on in our country right now, and who's telling the truth, and how you can look at who's telling the truth. I have a friend who works for a university, and the university gave them the option of going and get COVID tested all these different times. And so he and a friend went, and it was taking hours and hours and hours. They signed in and were just sitting there kind of doing nothing really with a lot of other people. And so they decided to leave and come back another time. But their supervisor and them also got announcements that they had tested positive for COVID, even though they had not had the test. They did sign up, but they never took the test. So really makes you wonder what is going on with the universe, and well, with the United States, especially because that's where most of us are. What is going on? Why are they lying to us? Why are they trying to control what we're doing, control where we go, control who we can talk to, where we can eat, what we can eat? And that's something that is out of your control. And a lot of that is what causes depression, things that you can't make a decision about, things that you can't control. You know, people say God doesn't give you any problem that you can't handle. So it's really what we do about what's thrown at us that really makes the difference. We all want to feel safe, and people know that, who are in charge, and they use our lack of safety against us to control us. So I'm going to share a little bit of information about how you can get a better handle on what really is going on, and how depression, which a lot of people are experiencing right now because they feel they have no control. So we've been sponsored this evening by the Sound Health portal, and a lot of you have gone to the portal and looked at services. Corona conflicts is a big one. Now that's grown a lot bigger than just corona. It's now looking at your immune system. It's looking at how your body deals with iron and oxygen to the body. So you can go in and check this, fill out the paperwork, give them a 30-second vocal print. Now, some of you are sending in 10 and 20 vocal prints. One is allowed, and somebody will probably get back to you and talk to you about others. Last time I looked, we were about 1,300 people behind in getting back to them and talking to them. but we're trying to catch up as quickly as we can. The other thing you can look at because of depression is neuroplasticity. What nutrients in the brain allow you to think clearly, optimally? So thank you, sponsor. We really appreciate it. I want to make sure that we are recording here. Most of you know more about this than I do. So the portal is our public workstation. You can go on and learn to do all of this on your own. There's tutorials. You can do the nano voice and talk to it. You got this job, you're going to an interview, or this job. Which one gives you the most harmony? The little nano voice will tell you. And we do have a 2-day class coming up. It ranges from free for just to be there and see what's going on. Use some of the software, nutrition and muscles especially. They give you that to work on. And you can join the portal, I think for 15 days for free, just to see if this is something that you want to do. Put your toes in the water a bit. Or you can take it professionally and get all the software for a year, get a microphone, start yourself on the professional pathway to becoming a bioacoustic provider in your neighborhood. And we try to help you do that, including the media that you would need in radio shows. This is the Institute of Bioacoustic Biology and Sound Health. We're in Athens, well, Albany, Ohio, right outside of Athens, home of Ohio University. And I am Sharry Edwards, your host. We've been here since 2006, I believe, in these 3 floors. It's an old schoolhouse, and we love it. What we do here is stick a microphone in your face, take a 30-second sample of your voice, and then look at it from the perspective of sour notes in a song. What frequencies, what notes in your voice don't mix with everything else? And we've been doing this for about 30 years. I don't have any medical background. The closest I come is a degree, a useless degree in dietetics. But what we did was begin to collect data. So instead of looking at this from MRIs and what's happening with your brain, because we didn't have any of that equipment or expertise, we began to collect vocal prints. And okay, this person has this set of frequencies and they have a cold, and this set of frequencies, and they have herpes, and this set of frequencies, and they just had a stroke. So we used this trial and error and just collecting data from your vocal print to see what was going on. I think this is very, very ancient. I think in the beginning, language was not separate words, but maybe was a sing-songy kind of language. I don't even sing, so I can't show you or demonstrate that. But when the sounds didn't match, when the notes didn't match, I think that's when people knew somebody was in stress, or they were lying, or they had a stomach ache, or whatever was going on. And people also knew about listening to plants and trees and whatever. And that's how in the beginning they began to match people's voices and sounds to what was going on in the environment. There is a great series of books by Gene Auhl, A-U-H-L, Clan of the Cave Bears, Valley of the Horses, and there's a character there called Kreb, and she writes about this very well, about how people and the sounds of nature come together. So we found out in all of our studies and collecting data that people with similar traumas, illnesses, whatever, have similar, if not identical, vocal anomalies. We had a mother and a daughter come to visit us, and they had been in the car for a few days driving, and their vocal prints looked almost identical. They'd eaten the same thing. They were in the same car. And we had to separate them for a day or two so that we could get a vocal print that was not so much in tune with each other. This is another reason we're writing an article about this now, why teenagers become recalcitrant and really nasty to their parents. They build up an intolerable amount of the parental frequencies. They can't listen to the words even because they can't stand the frequencies that the parents are putting off. I think that's going to relieve a lot of stress that these teenagers are not really bad people. That's just a way of nature getting them to move out of the nest. But that's just my theory. Mayo Clinic has taken up vocal profiling. MIT has taken up vocal profiling. We did a study for the Army on acoustic blasts and the damage they cause. That information was turned over to MIT, and they have just taken a few steps further, probably using our database. But it's out there, and it's making people millions of dollars. And a lot of people would come to you in a center, they're depressed. Metabolic syndrome is a big one. They have a thick stomach, and we have a computer program that'll tell what metabolic disorder is causing that. This is some of MIT made music for the coronavirus. Only a few days, couple of weeks after we put out ours with Jill Mattson, MIT and Carnegie Mellon both put out frequencies of the proteins of the coronavirus. We have 5 or 6 articles about this, and the things that we put out, we actually gave the frequencies to the public who had digital devices for them to look at this. The gene for this coronavirus is the same frequency as quercetin, a biflavonoid, and that's one of the things, a form of vitamin C that they've been using. So as we put things out, within 10 days or so, you'll see it in the literature. We are the foundation of vocal profiling. I am the pioneer of vocal profiling because I have special mutated hearing, and I could hear things from people out of their ears. And people just thought I was kind of nutty until Johns Hopkins University proved there really is a sound coming out of your ear. They're calling it an otoacoustic emission. In old and ancient times, they called it your signature sound. There is no privacy. You exhibit that sound all the time. People really pick up what's going on. Are you lying? What are you thinking? They're just too polite to tell you. So over the years, we have developed 2 different kinds of vocal profiles. One, frequency domain, this yellow jumpy up and down stuff, and it's very, very accurate to the 100th. We actually go to the 6th decimal point, but no speaker can handle that kind of frequency. So we just go to 2 decimal points right now. We also can do it by notes, and this is the nano voice that's on the front of the Sound Health portal that you can talk to and get a printout almost instantly of what's going on. And I will give you some notes to look at for some of the nutrients that we associated with PTSD. This is called a note correlate chart, a color-com chart. I developed it when I was a senior at Ohio University in interpersonal communication. It's on our website. You can download it. And in general terms, if you take your vocal print, and this one it looks like A sharp is the highest, we know that you're interested in mental things and ancient things, in solving mysteries. We've been able to put all that together over the years. So we hope as you're using this, you can download this chart and use it for general things of how to approach people. Depression. How do we look at depression in a positive sense? Well, depression tells you you're on the wrong road. Just like a warning sign says, this road is washed out, don't go here. That's kind of what depression is. It tells you you're not on the right path. Back up and sort of look at what is going on. According to the literature, there are 3 million persons in the United States that are suffering depression. And it's because they don't know how to move themselves out of the depression. Either they can't see the path clear, or they don't have the nutrients to support their thought processes to make everything okay. Depression can be associated with suicide because you don't have a solution. And you can talk to this little nano voice and it'll say, okay, I'm going to decide to leave everybody and leave my job and go here. And as you talk about it, this little nano voice keeps the notes, keeps the frequencies of your voice. Doesn't keep the words. Nobody will ever know what you said. But I believe that everybody is looking to balance themselves with notes and frequencies and colors. And that's why we have favorite colors, or we have to wear red today. Or somebody with a note of C really ticks us off because you can't stand their frequency. So we're hoping that you can use the nano voice to help decide which direction you want to go. Here are some of the things that can cause depression. Postpartum stress after a baby, it's hormonal. Premenstrual stress, some women get into rages right before their period starts. That's usually progesterone. With menopause, we have to look at what's being depleted, estrogen, too much testosterone, and go from there. So we can look at all of these. Bipolar depression is either GABA or serotonin or dopamine. So we can pinpoint or try to pinpoint what is going on. Seasonal depression usually is vitamin D. There's a lot of things going on with the chemistry of the body. Even your digestive enzymes, which come from liver stress, can cause you to be depressed. Lots of people express their depression in different ways. Withdrawal, go into hiding, cry, sleep. Sleep's a big one when you're depressed. This is our textbook that's available on our site, Sound Health Options. It gives you step-by-step instructions on how to use the nano voice for yourself and for other people and help them through their stress. You can also take steps further in this 2-day course that we put on and use the frequencies to tell. This is the frequency print of somebody who's allergic to aspartame. And that can cause you to be depressed because it depletes your glycine and your glutamate. Nano voice, little voice. We created this so you can find information about you and then turn around and help other people find information about them. And you can do this as a business or just to keep yourself sane. So we start out with a clean slate, 12 notes, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And we also count the number of notes. How, now, brown cow will give you 4 hits. How, now, brown cow. It also gives you octaves. The blue octaves is about emotion. The green octaves are about do and accomplish and take your self-worth from what you can provide to the world. Yellow is thinking, all intellectual. And the red one, which you don't see here, is about thinking about the future. If I say this, what will happen? In this case, A sharp is spiritual, and spiritual, why is somebody thinking what they're thinking here? And this is showing betrayal. Everything's pretty even except this A sharp. This is a question about why she's being betrayed. You can see there's a lack of foundation here. That's all in that 2-day course that's online for you to watch at any time. And then using this note correlate chart, you can go to the A sharp that's way too high. Highly intuitive, reads between the lines, can put self aside for others, likes mental games, hurts easily. So you take the print, you see what's out of balance, and this is way too high. And it's blue emotions. So we go to A sharp, go to the emotional side, and you can see what's going on. We provide you all of these tools in that class. Depression can be a combination of a lot of things, and I see environmental being left out here. Your environment, you aren't where you want to be. You aren't with the people you want to be. They upset you. They're taking your energy, your notes, your energy body. So these are some things, but combine it with environmental as well here that we can look at. Situational depression, are you with the person that you need to be? My father-in-law was a note of D. I love the note of D. It's orange. It's my favorite color. My husband had too much D. So we had this relationship. He had too much D, which I was happy to take. And he got rid of his overabundance of it because I was like dragging his energy. But his father died. My husband's note of D disappeared. He didn't show anything outward, no upset, no crying, nothing. But I couldn't stand to be in the same room with him. I couldn't stand for him to say, hello, good morning. And we'd already been married like 35 years at that point. I couldn't stand him. So we brought up one of our granddaughters in, with a note of D, and we all got along happy. She supplied what we need. Sometimes you'll try to get it by eating a certain food, wearing a certain color, visiting a friend or a place. Like London is the note of A. Easter Island is the note of E. So you will crave being with a person, eating the food, wearing the clothes, and because frequency is your voice, and frequency is color, and frequency is a person, frequency is aroma, frequency is sound, you'll begin to build back your relationship. And you can just go to the nano voice and say, hello, my name's Sharry, and I just want to know about me. What color do I like? Can you tell by our talking? And just blah, 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 blah. We'll do a demonstration of that. And you can see what notes you need, what colors you need. And we also have flyers and posters that will tell you in general terms what astrology charts are associated with what frequency. Those are fun, like the note of C is associated with Aries and C sharp with Taurus. Those are on our site. Sometimes we lose a person, they left us through death, or they just said they didn't care anymore, and you can look at what their note is and bring it back to yourself. If it's an F sharp and they're a Libra, you could bring it back with these beautiful colors of green so you don't miss that frequency so much. You could do it with music. You just miss their energy. Grief relief. We have done that for many people, and one of our practitioners took the idea and was selling people frequencies for their grief, their lost love, for $500 a pop. You can take the course and get the chart for free and go online and see what music is in those notes, and there you go, and you didn't have to pay somebody $500 for it. And she's a thief. So you experience their loss. Their energy is not there anymore. That's why you like certain color combinations in your living room or bedroom or whatever, based on the colors that you need. This is the one that has the notes with the astrology charts. And I think this one is on our site also, or it may just be one that comes with our courses. Here's a note of D sharp, and that's Cancer. And my birth note is Cancer, but I really, really love Capricorn, this purpley blue. That is 6 notes away. That's left and right brain combined. That usually means I'm whole brained. Take your birthday note, find out what it is, then your favorite color, and that'll usually tell you whether you have an outside influence that's going on, whether you've been, you need certain foods. These charts really help you get a handle on a person, just like numerology gives you numbers of their birthday, and there's ammonemology, gives you numbers or frequencies about their hands, and there's one with names, I know what's going on. We are forever trying to find out what makes the other guy tick. And this is just one way to do it, your birthday and the favorite number. These are some of the foods that have been associated with depression. Whoops, one too far. I was trying to grab that link. And put it in the chat for you. Well, I'm not having much luck being able to grab that. There it is. It was under other stuff. So I'm grabbing this and I'm going to put in the chat for everyone so that you can go look up some of these things for yourself. I went to this article because it says there's 8 suggestions here that will tell you how to get rid of the stress associated with COVID. It doesn't. It just tries to sell you something. So don't mind that. For instance, turkey has dopamine in it, and dopamine is the phenylalanine too, is some of the good feeling chemicals. Some of these as deficiencies cause depression, and calcium should be in the high and low side at the same time. GABA, gamma butyric acid, that's what was going on with Robin Williams and why he was so zany. Magnesium can really cause depression, and you think you have to find a reason for it in your emotions or interactions, and it's really just magnesium. And it's really simple to get that from your health food store or just to eat foods with a lot of magnesium. But as you get older, past 40 or so, the magnesium just doesn't work as well. So looking at this EFA, essential fatty acids, you can find these deficiencies and help just to eat the right foods. We found 8 things associated with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. The first level was calcium, niacin, B3, linolenic acid, and zinc. And these are the people who didn't know there was something wrong. They were just walking around in oblivion. The second stage was progesterone, choline, magnesium, and B5. These are the people who knew something was wrong, and these are the ones that commit suicide. This was out of 90 different files that the Army gave us to look at. There was Army people who had been blasted, stepped on a blast, or they had their head damaged. And this is the stuff that was consistent. So I'll give you a few seconds here to write all that down. Calcium, niacin, B3 is great for depression because it frees up the circulatory system. Also helps with your DNA. Linoleic acid, essential fatty acid, and then zinc. Zinc helps the immune system. Also helps with copper combination. Zinc and copper was a combination that Reagan had in stress, and he ended up with Alzheimer's. Progesterone. The best progesterone I found is Progest E, and it's by Ray Peat, just like peat moss, P-E-A-T. And if you don't have a place to get some good progesterone, call our office and we'll give you a reference. Choline, eggs, sure you get enough inositol. It's behind a lot of mental confusion, Alzheimer's, Lewy proteins, vascular inefficiency. Vascular inefficiency is also an issue with magnesium because that keeps all the little gates in the circulatory system opening and closing, in dumping in hormones and digestive enzymes. B5, pantothenic acid, and be sure to get B5 complete because it needs pantotene to work, and it's really an important part of your Krebs cycle. So when we look at these imbalances, calcium's denoted E, niacin B, linoleic acid C sharp, and zinc is also a C. Now a note can be right on like 440 cycles per second, a note of A, but it can be 436 or 444. We look at this nano voice and we take out each side so that no note is ever mistaken for another note. So you can be pretty sure that these are right on. Magnesium, you crave turquoise, you love turquoise, magnesium. D sharp is gold, choline, G sharp, that's blue, blue purple really, and then pantothenic acid, which is Capricorn blue. Medications that cause depression. Let me see if I can put this in your chat. And we'll also put these links with the recording of this that we'll probably have up by tomorrow, or at least by Saturday morning. But look at all of these. Even Valium is supposed to relax you. Oxycontin, some really Percocet. These can all cause depression. There's a lady who wrote a book about medications and causing depression and suicides. I wish I can remember her name. It's Prescriptions or Confessions of a Professional Drug Pusher. Gwen Olsen, O-L-S-E-N. It's a great book. She is a truly wonderful person trying to help people get off of a medication and onto alternative herbs. These are traumatic brain injury information that's associated with post-traumatic stress disorder. And a big one is glutathione. And that's one of the things that coronavirus brings up, glutathione stress. Also, Roundup, glyphosate causes glutathione stress. Cell oxygenation, yes. What's going on with coronavirus is causing hypoxia because it's messing up your iron. Leukotrienes, your immune system. Dopamine, lipoproteins. telomerase. We have an entire database of telomerase, and that's the stem cell information in the body. You have a copper top on the end of each of your nerve fibers, and the telomers and telomerase are what dictates what's going on with those little copper tops. When we give people back their stem cell information, they get what we call zingers. They're just like instant, really bad, zappy pain. And that's the nerves reconnecting in people that have neuropathy, especially people with diabetes. You can get the little nano voice program for yourself, and there's different versions. There's one for Perfect Mate. There's one for companies to put committees together. It's on our site. There's a booklet and a class that comes with it. If you don't want to jump on the internet and do this, you can have this on your own computer. Triggers for depression: coronavirus, lockdowns, having to wear masks, where you get all that carbon dioxide coming back at you. You remember that? Well, I'm in my 70s, so I remember us breathing into a paper bag until we passed out. Well, they've outlawed that now, but it's the same thing that the masks are doing. So if you lost your job or a friend or a partner, a parent, you should be depressed, because that helps you recognize something's wrong. Go check out your nutrients, check out your options, and we can go from there. If it's some kind of genetic stress that does not allow you to make GABA or dopamine, we can help you identify it. I think a lot of people are depressed right now because of the government fighting to the point where we're the ones suffering. They won't pass the stimulus bill because they're fighting about what ought to be in it, but we're the people that are losing it, and people losing their houses, and it's a mess. And I don't know what to do about it, except I'm trying to provide information to you to get you out from under somebody else's thumb about your health. They're fighting now over, should we take Social Security away from old people if they won't get these shots? They don't have a right to do that. I don't think health stuff's in the Constitution, but I don't think they have a right to dictate the kind of health I choose for my body. So there are times when you should be depressed, but enjoy it. I'm depressed. Give me another outline. Give me another path. What do I need to do? Just like when I have pain, I love the pain and I ask it what it's trying to show me, because it's there for a reason. So just embracing it and relaxing with it and not cutting off your communication to the universe, you can sometimes come up with some really creative ideas. So here are notes of D and D sharp. They're too low. They are lacking. D and D sharp, they're too low. Notes of G sharp, A sharp, too high, overdose. So it needs to be about halfway up. So we can go back and look at our chart. So C sharp is way too high. What's C sharp? It's an issue with justice and your tendons and ligaments. C sharp people love justice. Sometimes they get selfish and want justice their way, but most of the time they love justice for the people. So we have too much A sharp. A sharp, again, intuition. They feel things from people. You know, we have this horrible thing going on in English-speaking countries that if I'll use my own self as an example, I say to my husband, I think you're feeling blah, blah, blah. Nah. Don't feel that at all. He negates what I intuited, and so I begin to disbelieve my own intuition. There was a time when we were first married in the first 10 years or so that he refused to kiss me, and I asked him about it. I tried to make sure my breath was fresh and whatever, and so I meditated on it, and I went back in our conversations, and I remembered he smoked at the time, and he had overheard me say that kissing somebody who smokes is like licking an ashtray, and he didn't want to say that to me. But what I did, he was reading the paper one day, and I took the paper out of his hands, and I squished up his mouth, and I smushed my face all over and made him kiss me. And then he told me what was really going on. But I took it up on me to change the situation. Now, I took a chance, and you have to take that sometimes. But I took the paper. I deliberately smushed up his mouth like it was a kiss and put my mouth on his and my cheek and my forehead and everything. And that broke the weirdness of the situation. Now, I don't blame him for then refusing to kiss me because he thought he was insulting me or causing a problem by kissing me after he smoked. I don't smoke, never have. But kissing somebody who smokes and you don't sometimes is a problem. We also have something called, I call it a green sheet. It's a note correlation chart. So if you have, say, magnesium low, it may be that you need inositol to make it work. So this gives you all the pieces. And especially when you take that 2-day course, they give you that nutrition software for you to use for free. And you can use this to counsel your people. So this leads us back to nano voice again. And when we'll do a demonstration here, when you go into nano voice, you get a reading of what notes are what, and then it gives you a printout. You have to catch this real quick. It won't print it by itself, and I don't know how many seconds it stays up there, but you have to go grab it. We are a frequency combination of all that we are. Everything we've ever seen, eaten, touched, smelled. We have a biofield, and that biofield is the combination of all of our frequencies. People say we really don't have a biofield. That's just esoteric poppycock. So when I'm doing something with a group of doctors who don't all believe, I say to them, would any of you who don't have an energy body, would you please leave? That proves to them that they have an energy body because they'd have to use energy to get up and leave. So you start where they are. They realize they have a body and it's all made of frequencies. And we have something called aura cards that can teach you to see. I'll have them put that out. Let me write myself a note. So it can teach you your lighting conditions and under what situation environmentally you can see an aura. And that's nothing more than the frequency emanations from your body. They call them chakras, and they say they're energy places on the body. They're not. They're the most neutral place on the body where energy comes and goes freely. It doesn't create energy. It is an energy center in that, like a shopping center, out the back door, in the front kind of thing. And that's another thing that you can begin to study, the chakras of the body, the frequency energy spots of the body. And we are attracted or repelled by the energies of each of us, of different kinds of food, different places, different size of rooms. And it's all based on math. So Kim, you are up here on staff. So I'm going to open your mic. We're going to go to the portal. As soon as I can get my mouse to connect here. And Kim, I'm going to start the nano voice. Do you have a microphone hooked up? Kim, can you open your mic? Attendee is self-muted, so you'll have to open your mic, Kim. Kim, are you with us? Did you go get some tea? Well, Therese, can you open your mic?
How's
Yay,
that?
That is great. Okay, this is just soundhealthportal.com. This is right on the front page. Record your voice. Check out our nano voice. So I'm going to hit this and you just start talking. Okay?
Okay. Check out our nano voice. Start. Best results. Relaxed. Speak normally. Avoid long pauses. Sound Portal Health. Nano voice. Speak normally. Minimize pauses. Record in a quiet space. Keep talking because I need those lines to go up. I'm here because I'm really interested in what you're doing, and I think it would be very good for me. I'm curious to know if I have brain damage or PTSD or depression or none of the above. I noticed some interesting things that you've already brought up that resonate with me, like I take Abilify, just started taking that because I have depression, but I take sertraline also. And I was told I have PTSD, then I was told I didn't. Then I was told by a doctor I did have, and then I was told I don't. So I don't know what. And anyway, with all this, with this class today, I've discovered that I really am looking forward to more because you have answered a bunch of questions that I've already seen, that I've had for a while, actually. And I'm starting to lose things. Anyway, I took care of my dad for many years, and I just left. He just died 2 years ago, and I'm still getting over
Okay, we have it a lot of B more than anything else. So if we look at that note of B, well, let's pull the other one over here. B is nerves, is small circulation. My computer is doing some kind of dance here and won't let me pull this over. So here's the note of B that you can go back to as we're looking at this. But I want to go back online because, get rid of this.
Should I mute?
Sure, go ahead. So we do the report. You like to, tell me if there's something that's wrong with this. You like to organize your own stuff, but not necessarily do the cleaning. You have an integral sense of what's right or wrong in universal principles. Your highest notes associated with service to others, and you just said that. Your Father, your feelings and desires to help others reside with this big note of B you have. You understand that trust should be earned, but often trust without reservation. You like your working environment to be efficient with things readily available. You know how you want things to look, but don't always have the energy to do so. Now, you can copy this and put it on another piece of paper. It won't print from here. But we can go back. Let's see if we can go back. You can see behind here what is going on. Probably should have taken a screen print of that. If you have the program on your own computer, you can keep all of it. Let's see if we can go back, and you wanted to look at PTSD. So I'm going to open Audacity, and you download this. It's in the textbook. We give you instructions to do every bit of this and pictures. So Therese, this is a timer here. So We know that you're a server of other people. We know you have to know the blue, circulation, veins, circulation of fluids in the body. Let's see what your voice now says about PTSD. And you said brain injury, so traumatic brain injury. So I'm going to click this red button, all the instructions, and I'm trying to cut this short because we only have 9 minutes left. I'm going to click this red button and you talk for 30 seconds about wondering if you have traumatic brain injury and PTSD. Okay?
Okay.
Go.
Hi, I'm still Teresa, and I wonder if I have PTSD or not because I have issues with stopping in the middle of my sentences and not remembering what I'm talking about, and depression and many other items. I really would like to get some answers because I've been told many things throughout the years, and uh, I'm running out of things to say. It's kind of hard to say stuff when you really are kind of on the spot. But I do appreciate being here and being able to participate in your seminar here. I am also lined up for some of your other seminars in the future, which I really look forward to. I'm working with some of your people to get the right equipment because I'm working on a Mac right now, which doesn't work with your stuff. So I will be getting an HP, and also I want to get the correct microphone. So,
okay, I let it go long because I wasn't getting much. I didn't have the microphone in the right place. So I wasn't getting much here, so I have to cut this out. Scissors. So now we didn't really start getting good stuff till about here. Let's see if we have 30 seconds. We can cut out some more. Let's cut this out. And the book gives you all the information about what to look for. Like that squiggly stuff wasn't really good information. So I can save this. And that's, people have, when I say that, it's wrong. If you save it, it comes up an AUP file and we can't use it. So you have to export the audio and export it as a WAV file. So TERESA and PTSD. We have to save it as something unique or it'll knock out the last one that we did. And we can also just click here anywhere. Well, that's really low, but I think the computer will pick it up. So we're going to go to the portal. Well, it's not going to. Here's the portal, but I think this is an old one. So we want to say new. We want to do a new person. It takes longer to set this up than it does to do it. So everybody gets their own little cache in here with your own words and password. And it collects everybody for you that you've ever done. Unacceptable network, something occurred. So let's just get rid of this and open a new one. They fix this. We add stuff to it almost every day. So sometimes they don't always tell us in advance. Exactly. So I think it's telling me that we cannot even get on the portal. We have fiber optic cables here. There, it's going to let me on. Okay. So we want a new person. And do you mind giving me your birthday? Teresa, I will send this to you. You don't have to take screenshots. 12/06/56. And what state are you in? California. Okay, female. Now it's easy from here on out. Save and continue. I'll do it the short way because we're running out of time. Save and continue. We want to do an evaluation, a new one. There's a booklet all about this. On how to do it, and gives you all the shortcuts and whatever's going on. So we don't want a new voice file. I want a new evaluation, and I don't quite know how to get there. I know what happened. I didn't save the last one. You can go in and look at all these hundreds of bio bundles, and it'll tell you all the deep-seated things going on. This is only supposed to take 12 seconds, but here we are. Just load, load, load. They must be working on this, and I've jumped into their work here. How about save? It's not going to let me do anything. How about reboot? Well, I don't want to do a new voice file, but let's see if it'll help me get anywhere. Okay, so I should be able to say save and continue. I think that's what I forgot last time. Yeah, I'll now do a new evaluation. So this is the computer looking at the vocal print, and we teach you what each of these things mean. Like this is a cut, a slice, and that's a pretty important point. Let's see what the computer does. I'm asking it to do something current right now and pull the points, and it'll bring up all these little red dots. What's low, you have too little of, and what's high, you have too much of. Where there's an open space, that's a problem. Here's an open space. This is an inflammation. So let's go to the databases. I'm going to pick out a couple. PTSD. And we could also do traumatic brain injury. We have one that is combined, and there's only 80 hits here. I think I'd rather do PTSD and get 100 hits. We could do both of them, but it'd be really redundant. Anything else you want us to look up? Therese? Okay, we'll just do these two. And it'll tell us when there's an overlap. You can see this is the biggest, and this is a big one too. Anytime there's turquoise, it means there's something else here that's related to it. So this low and this high are related. So if we say save and continue here, we can look at this yellow tells us what's most important. All these things are low. Tyrosine, the thyroid, but it can also give us a rank. And you can do this without knowing much of anything. Just push the buttons and get the reports. This is a ranking of what trees should work on first or be most concerned about. 7 pages is a lot. 5 is kind of okay. 7's a lot. So we can look at all of this, and we can look at the rank. These are first. These are things that she should look at first. These proteins are low, and she can go online, click this. It'll take her online to try to find what's going on there. There's a lot of references happening here. We can bundle that and send it right to her. Put that in chat, your address, or just send it to me, Sharry Edwards at Gmail, and I'll send you your reports. But it gives us ideas. All this is PTSD, and it's by category. 50 is the one you want to work out the most. And there's choline. We can also organize this by templates and look at traumatic brain injury so you can see if there's actually some brain damage. ADP ribosylation factor, never heard of it. RNA opsin, so there's some eye issues. GABA, so there are some TBI issues, but none of them are yellow by relevance. So the TBI isn't as important. Now we can go look at all the ranking for you and look at the importance of what's happening and where we should go first. So in sync, 360 hits, 50 is a lot. This is diets and metabolism, more metabolism, autism, and this just isn't autism, it's how the brain works and functions for any and everybody, including somebody who's had trauma. Parkinson's, 108, PTSD, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's 5th in line of importance here. We could go look at any of these. So this tells us 100 hits with PTSD, but only 8 with PTSD, traumatic brain injury, so the PTSD is the most important. We could also look at superbrain and see if there is a problem with the brain. We have a lot of other pylorrhea, is it? Other kinds of brain stuff. Now here's just the brain stuff, but there's nothing yellow here yet. This is the bottom of the relevance. There, so this is about the brain. Yaudio does show brain damage, but it's low. So we would go through these, get the list of frequencies for you of what you need, which is really simple. We look at a tone view, and the computer puts everything in order of what we should be looking at. These early 16s are brain damage stuff, but it's long-term. Anything above 500 is long-term. So that's what we teach in class, how to interpret all of this We hope all of you can join us next week when we have the 2-day course. Remember to go and get the 2-day course that's up online for you. I don't see any more questions. Therese, do you have any questions about what we did? Oh, good grief, I just looked at this out. Thank you, Larry. Each chakra also has note, yes. Aura cards, you can get those through the office. On the human bioacoustic chart is depression or PTSD, mostly emotions. It can be a combination of both. Most of the time it is a combination of both. Your coping skills require a lot of calcium and magnesium and vitamins. That's what's on that green sheet. How to see how your body is being influenced by all of that. And the computer will tell you. It takes all of your numbers into consideration, sees what the sour notes are, and goes from there. Please say the video you ask us to watch again. A video. It is one on our site. It's a 2-day course. It's called Your Right to Know, and it's about learning to use the nano voice to tell who's fibbing to you and what direction they're fibbing. We did a lot of political things on there to show you facts about who is fibbing to you. We just did that Tony Barbarino, or whatever his name is, the Biden guy who's exposing things, and Amy Coney Barrett. Their vocal prints look very much alike. They are not going to do it for Trump. They're not doing it for themselves. They're doing it for the higher purpose. Is the implication that when you experience trauma, your body stops absorbing those? Yes, very good, Vanessa. That could totally be happening. That trauma causes frequencies to shut down, so your body doesn't know what to do with asparagus or whatever frequencies are coming back. On the human bias chart, it's depression. Yes, Joanne, that is all of the ranges, but we don't talk about that in a public class. It's just too hard to get across to people. Okay, I think I've answered all the questions. If you don't know, I mentioned an article or whatever, we'll try to put them up with the videos. We put them on Vimeo, Vimeo, and just look under my name, Sharry with an A. And we also put them up on our own site with links and articles and information. Oh, that was a quick hour. We are going to be doing lots more of these. Stay tuned to find out who we drew the name so that they get a free vocal print. Not vocal print, I'm sorry, a free software. And this one will be either TBI and PTSD, or you can get the one that's together. I feel like this just went by in a heartbeat, but I loved it. So please join us next time.